That was a close call. Forgot the light.
We are live. Let's make sure we got all this on. Hey, friends. Hey, Bart's already here. Hey, Bart.
Cue the house band for warm-up music.
Hi. Yeah, let me get logged into the chat here on my phone. We're running a minute behind today. Huh. We almost went live without any kind of light on us at all. It was super dark. But we're here now. The last time that we went live from the workshop here, Mateo had a small meltdown in the middle of the live. So we'll see how he does this time. I brought some treats.
Can you tell it's warm? He's already
treats. Let's see. What do you think? Do you want a treat already? Do you want a treat?
You got commercials playing in the background.
Boy.
So that's gonna sound weird.
You can eat it right in your bed. You don't have to run away.
All right, just got the house music warming up, house band.
Mateo has a treat.
Welcome in, letting people filter in as usual.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's warm. Probably warmer everywhere else than it is here, actually.
It is hot. It was a really good time to do a sponsored air conditioning review. We're super thankful. That was really, really good timing for us.
Yeah.
But it is pretty warm. This workshop space is not air conditioned. This is the one that's next to our tent. More of the fabrication shop, and this isn't air conditioned either, so we're really
when they're actually in here working, there's a massive fan that actually does make it pretty nice. Unless it's extremely hot, it's actually pretty nice in here. There's a ton of airflow.
Yeah,
but right now nothing's on because that would be very loud and annoying for everyone.
Yeah,
it's a little warm in here. It's not outrageous, but it's definitely warm.
We can't really have much on when recording audio, so
yeah, that's the problem with recording.
We might only do 45 minutes if we get too warm. Depends on if you see Mateo panting over here in the corner.
See how sweaty I get.
We already got some people joining us. Hey, friends.
What's up? Of course, I decided first hot day of the year. I would say this is probably the first actually hot day.
This is the first really warm one.
I decided I would climb up to the top of the tent today and look at the roof, mess around with that. And
this would be a great time to do a roof rack because it's almost 90. Today is the day.
Yeah, really smart.
Mm-hmm.
Really freaking awesome.
Oh, I have a beverage back here. Cheers, guys.
Anyways, if anybody has any questions from last week's episode, or general questions,
we're already getting a few questions. I'm just gonna let some people filter in here before we dive into that.
Right.
But episode 1, the very first episode, it came out.
Is that where we are?
Yep, we officially launched the very first episode of the whole build series. There was a bit of a lead in to this build because we did the announcement, then the pre-build tour, and now I'm so done. But we're getting rolling. We're getting started with some projects and talking about them in the videos. So episode 1, we were kind of just making our plan. We talked to you about van space, which we've used for a number of years now. It's just a bit of a lighter version of SketchUp. If you don't want to take the really intense kind of time to learn SketchUp or even more complicated CAD, if you don't want that kind of crazy stuff, VanSpace is an entry-level design program. We really like it because it really just kind of is drag and drop, but you can put specific custom vehicle measurements in.
It's pretty cool to let someone who doesn't have a lot of skills on a computer to kind of I still was having to ask you how to do things because I've made myself slowly computer illiterate over the years.
Drew did a lot of the solar rack design on VanSpace, and
that I found that pretty useful just to kind of lay it out. You know, and I've done it by hand a million times as well. You get your dimensions, but it was cool to be able to just kind of change the size of the panels. You know, see how many inches you got, like what configurations you could do.
Yeah.
I tried some crazy stuff, and then I kind of went back to trying to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
The one thing that
there's no more treats
usually we run into on the builds, because we really like to have the Dickinson heater, is that chimney kind of hurts you up on the roof a little bit. You can get it pretty close to the edge in a safe way, but whatever you're taking away on the left side means you're going to lose it on the right for the most part. You can offset them a tiny bit, but you don't want, you know, at least I like to try to keep it pretty even.
Yeah.
So if that wasn't there, you know, that's a bunch more inches you could work with.
Yeah. So
we haven't had an issue with having ample amounts of solar on any build, so I don't think it matters.
We talked about van space. We did the very first demo of the build, taking the walls off. We got our first materials, first batches of wood from Home Depot, and just kind of talked about our plan overall. Yeah. Talked about the you are such a weirdo. Talked about like the Zero Breeze, our first impressions of it right out of the box and that sort of thing. So, do you want to answer some questions? We already have some.
Yeah, so Tail's getting wound up there.
I know, he might have to go back home. Are you going to go back home? Do you want to read some of the questions?
I shall try.
That one is the first one.
Right there. Mm-hmm. All right, question number 1 from our old buddy Splintered Finger. The Splintered Finger. Sounds like a woodworker, maybe. Have you considered using solar mounts found on Amazon? Renji also sells these. They are 6 feet that are glued to RV roof and use special 3M adhesive. Oh, not this product specifically. I have not really considered it, though. I do know. I believe it's pretty common in like overland builds where a lot of times they'll just glue them down. So we did use VHB tape on our original van to put our panels on. I never had a single issue with it. So I do know that stuff's super strong. So these are basically you're gluing on like channel, like unistrut type thing to then mount to. Is that what they're saying?
I think so. It's a special product you can buy, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. No, I hadn't really considered those. They would probably work fine, but I do like mounting right into the framework when I can, because of the size of the panels, really. Particularly when you start getting to like the residential size,
right? Try
to get at least 6 points of contact.
And like on our bus, our first bus here, we have the small Rich Solar 200 watt panels. Yeah. So it's not quite as bad. Not bad, but there's not quite as much lift on them with the rack. Whereas these big ones, the residential panels that we've been putting on the last bus and now that we're going to be putting on this vehicle, they're just a lot bigger, a lot higher
really
stake.
Wide too.
They're really
wide. I guess long, but are putting them widthways. So then you get that center point where it's like, I feel like I want to have something, depending on how big they are. The ones that we're working with when they finally get here are pretty wide. They're like 74 inches. So we actually have been like solving for that. I think we figured out how we're going to mount them already to be a little different. But yeah, that is nice to know. I want to look that up because that's probably a good recommendation for a lot of people.
Yeah,
depending on what your vehicle is.
In our consultations, we get a lot of questions about roof racks because it is kind of the point where you're going to go with a product, or you're going to fabricate something yourself, which is generally just people don't have the capability to fabricate something a lot of the time. They're not welders. They don't know welders, or just inexperienced with metal. So it's generally a point that we get a lot of questions about. Yeah, but I'd be interested in the product.
Yeah, I want to look at it. You probably need a flat roof, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Which this vehicle has a pretty flat roof, but a lot of them don't. But I have to check it out for sure.
Yeah, there's so many new products all the time now, especially in this sort of space, like this RV van bus building space, that I feel like I can't keep up with stuff half the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
People are always bringing us like new products and new cool stuff, and yeah, it feels like it's tough to keep up. But it's nice that there's a lot of like options now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we did our first van, there wasn't a lot of options. There weren't a lot of companies out there. So
yeah, we end up making components a lot just because we're fortunate to have access to this shop. Mm-hmm. But it's nice even if we made something, if we realize it's available for sale or something that will accomplish the same thing, it's nice because it's easy to recommend to that somebody that doesn't maybe have access to like metalworking, which a lot of people don't. So sometimes even we'll look at something like, well, we can make that. And then like, is there a product? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, even if we make it, like, cool, let's also kind of recommend this product.
Yeah. And for us, just fabricating things from scratch takes a lot of time. And we've been trying to save time on this build and get it done quicker because we were here until January last year. So we would really love to leave in the fall, early winter. So we're trying to work smarter, not harder, trying to make that the theme of the build. No. So like while we could build a lot of things ourselves, we're trying to kind of like bring in some products that
being said, I was making square washers today.
That being said, today we fabricated a bunch of stuff of things.
We got hi from Iowa.
What's
up? Cyclones or Hawkeyes? That's my question. Are you a Cyclone or a Hawkeye? Mm-hmm. Also, hi guys from Big Buford.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Did you say that
one? We've seen them on our live before and on Instagram.
From Colombia. Median, Colombia. Is that how you say that?
Wow.
I'm not sure. I could be pronouncing that wrong.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
That's a ways away. Oh, hey guys. Hey, Mateo. Okay, here's another question. This is from Big Buford. Is that how you say it?
You skipped a question. The splintered finger.
Oh, he has a follow-up question. Oh, questions and reviews about Van Space. Have you had any problems?
I haven't read any bad reviews about it. That being said, I haven't been looking up recent reviews about it. I know that they have had a lot of updates recently. They released a whole new version of the program, and that came out maybe a few months ago, I think I saw. So we updated and we were working with the latest version. And I think it's the same as we discovered with the Zero Breeze. Like when we said that we were going to try out the Zero Breeze, it's only, I think, 2,300 BTU. And a lot of people buy it, I think, expecting to cool their entire space, like a large AC unit. And I think people buy Van Space thinking that it's going to be this detailed, crazy SketchUp level program. So you have to understand what you're getting, and that ease of use is going to make it less complicated in good and bad ways.
You can trade off for maybe some things that are more generic.
Yeah, so right? I think that drag and drop, like simple to use aspect of Van Space makes it really nice for the masses, like people that aren't gonna learn SketchUp or CAD or things like that. So I guess just understand what you're getting. They have a lot of tutorials and things mentioned online. So without seeing the specific negative reviews, we've had a pretty good experience. We were able to design both the buses and now the box van on Van Space, and it was pretty simple.
Yeah, and you can use it like as thorough as you like,
Yeah.
You can use it just to get your basic like layout set up, and then from there, more intricate things, you could go off of that kind of like rough, or you could probably be a little more in depth with it. So
yeah, and Van Space, I don't know if it was the creators or whatever, they made our bus.
Yeah, that was funny.
In their program, and they posted it, I think, on Instagram. There's pictures.
Yeah.
They did it way better than I ever did. It was so nice.
They made it after it was a finished product, right?
Right.
So
they emailed us and said, hey, can we make your bus in our program to promote it? And we said, yeah, of course, that sounds great. And they did a great job. It was way better than I did.
What do you got next? Got another one?
Sure. Do you want to hand this to me? Mateo's panting.
Need a refreshing beverage. It's hot.
Let's see. Is there anything you won't do in this build that you did do in the others?
Yes. I have to think about what that is, but yes. Let me think. Because, there's always specific things to the space. I'm trying to think. Like something we did that we're not going to do, is what they're asking?
Yes. Is there anything you won't do in this build that you did do in the other ones?
Let's see. I don't know how many secrets I want to give away. I don't think I'll be doing a solar slide. And that's not because it isn't awesome, but because we're able to reach a pretty massive number of watts without really, I don't think really need it. So with our bus, even without the slide, we still have quite a bit, 1,000 watts. But
I was coughing.
We have a little bit more limited roof space on our bus than this.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to maximize, and I wanted to create that project. And those panels were like so cheap at that time.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll do that on this one.
Something that we did in this one is downsized the shower. We decided the shower was going to be a bit smaller. Drew goes back and forth, but I pushed pretty hard for a smaller shower because you spend such little time in the shower that I felt like for it to take space away from the living area where I'm spending the majority of the time versus the, 5 minutes that I'm in there every few days. I don't know. It was too much space, I think. It was 32 watts.
Yeah, it's not. It's probably barely a downsize because what we did was we shortened the length that is running along the wall and made it wider the other way. Mm-hmm. So we didn't make it all the way to 32 the other way, but I think it's went from like 24 to like 29 or something, or 26. So it's actually, it almost feels more spacious because where the faucet head is coming off of like over the cab part. Mm-hmm. Now it's wider that way, which is the way you kind of stand when you're in there. So I think it's probably a little bit smaller overall, but because we sort of flipped that rectangle, it actually feels kind of nicer. And the other thing in this is there's no curve.
Yeah, we have so much width.
It feels like even more open in there. It's not done yet, but just sort of like preliminary framing it out. It's like when you're just standing in that square, you realize there isn't this kind of on your one side. It's, instead of being like a little bit tight, it's completely open. Right. So it's honestly, if you did the square inches or whatever, or cubic feet, it's probably pretty darn close. It's just oriented in a different way. Right. And even on the last bus, I think we swapped. We made that one also a little wider and a little shorter compared to our first bus. Mm-hmm. And we liked it. So we kind of even went further that direction.
Drew and I kind of had a conversation about this the other day. As more people start doing this lifestyle, and especially people with like engineering and fabrication backgrounds, there's so much that you can do. Like it can get so complicated that basically you could build a really, really intense, really, really complicated build. Mm-hmm. But what if you get out there and something breaks and you don't have all your tools with you to fix it, and you don't have all this stuff? All of a sudden, half the things in your vehicle are broken, or they're just unnecessarily complicated. So kind of one of the things that we want to do in this build is just simplify some things. Like some of my favorite builds that I've seen have even just had a foot pump faucet for the sink. It's so easy to fix that. If it breaks, it's just, I think the complicated fancy stuff can get a little bit out of hand sometimes.
It's always, you're just weighing the benefits, right? Every decision in these builds is really pros and cons. And what is your skill set? If you're someone who's super handy and you want to bring a lot of tools on the road,
right?
It's probably less of an issue. Or you enjoy the kind of projects,
right?
Some people are like more kind of like engineer or project oriented, so they might go more extreme. But it is kind of nice to make things a bit simpler. It's funny because I'm sure that somebody's like thinking of like that has like very like rudimentary build, or like what's the term, utilitarian build. They're looking at like the builds we've done, you're like, that's not simple, it's like a mess, there's a million things. So but if you can kind of simplify things, pick your spots. It's like, what were we talking about? Like hydronic, like heating, right?
Yeah, it's because we were discussing that.
Like, it's super cool. So you can use the engine of the vehicle to heat a water system that you can use for your hot water, but also you can run it in your floor to heat your floor. Very cool. I've never tried to do it. I don't know how intense that would or wouldn't be, but we were sort of talking about it in our experience of like the way we sort of live. Like, how often do we really need hot water?
Right.
It's great to have it, don't get me wrong, but like the extra work, we try to be in nice weather, like warm weather.
Right. In the summertime, we don't turn our water heater on because we're so kind of warm in general, working.
It never comes on in the summer.
We take cold showers, and then
it's not even that cold because the waters get warm.
In the wintertime, you definitely want it, but we almost never turn hot water on for our sink, our kitchen sink. So
not just for it, like if it's on.
Well, we did a 12-volt conversion of our water heater, and that made it so we can have hot water pretty much whenever we want.
We can definitely kind of have it on. We would have it a little more often. But I don't know. We just don't. I don't know. It's just some of that stuff. So like, that's a cool, super cool system. I've seen people put in some vans and stuff. And it's smart. You're kind of capitalizing that power that's already being used to run the vehicle.
Good job.
But also, depending on how you sort of move around, if you're someone who sits for 2-3 weeks, like, you don't want to fire up your vehicle just to create that heat. Now, if you move every couple days and you put a really well insulated tank, like, you're probably gonna always have hot water.
Right.
So if that's how you travel, that's definitely probably more worth considering something like that. But if you're sitting for 2 weeks at a time, now you're just basically firing up a generator to run a water heater,
right?
Which is wasting gas, which is money. So I don't know. It is definitely relative.
That was a good question.
Yeah,
we really went off on a tangent. If you've been with our live streams before, we
got to stop. People are like, now we're gonna get to my question.
We love a tangent. Bart says, I preface this question first by saying I watched the latest video well after midnight in a 14-hour driving day. Didn't finish the video, fell asleep. Need to finish watching. That being said, how are you walling up the roll door? We looked at people that put like house fronts on the doors, like over where the roll door was. I just didn't really dig it. It wasn't our favorite thing. Definitely saw people do it really cool, like with siding and like planter boxes under the windows. And we considered it for a second because you could put a window AC. You could put like house windows back there and a house door.
Which is like a super easy way to accomplish air conditioning.
Then you could put a window unit right into that house window.
Yeah.
And that would be so easy.
It would. And it would be, you could put, it's probably the smallest one you can get is usually about 5,000 BTU.
Right.
Which would cool the space to a good degree. But you could then just put a curtain on the bed area and just run that at night in your bed, and you would be cold in there because now you're only cooling that tiny space. So there's cool options with that. But we decided to pull the door because we didn't like the fact that it's, can tend to be drafty and leaky, but also it is on that slide. So you're losing a few inches of ceiling. You would have to either just box off that area where the door went in, or you have to lower your whole ceiling. So those are just a few of the reasons why we pulled that. We knew we were going to pull that before we bought the vehicle.
Yeah, we did.
So we're going to put different doors on it.
Yeah, as far as insulation, it's not going to be as good, but this is not a super large box truck. We're 11 inches shorter inside, right? 11 inches.
The box itself.
Yeah. Than we have in our bus. It's a pretty small space.
It might be.
And putting a big wall there, like a house wall is what I saw, with big studs and everything. That would just take away a lot of our space. So
yeah. Every inch counts.
It does. So we went with just regular doors, but we'll have to see what we actually chose because they're a little bit different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're still we have the doors we're going to use, but we don't know if we're going to modify anything yet.
Right.
We were going to put them on and then realized, wait, it's so nice to be able to just load things in and out of the back of this right now without having to open these doors. So we just kind of are putting it off because right now it's making the space really easy to work in.
Right.
If you make anything outside of it that's larger, you can simply just slide it in the back right now, which is really nice.
And this is just a personal choice, honestly, is what it comes down to. Like, some people will really love that and some people will really hate that.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It just depends on what you like. But I love being able to open that entire back space. Maybe we can put a screen in there when it gets warmer and buggier. But man, to be able to open those back doors and just see a full view of wherever you're camping, that's going to be pretty incredible.
For sure.
Yeah. The doors will be insulated as well.
Yeah.
If that's something you're worried about. Let's see. How many windows will you install, and or will it be fewer to be stealthier?
Good question. Very good question. Wait, is that a secret?
As far as the stealthy thing, we always kind of say that these days, I think people are so clued into the whole van life thing that if you have solar panels and a vent fan and stuff like that, people are kind of gonna know that you're sleeping in it.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat of an illusion at this point. I think there are some builds, if you are 100% going for that, there's something to be gained. Like one of these type of vehicles, if you literally put nothing on the roof, you might be able to do like a simple vent because it's so high you want to be able to see it. If you did nothing though, or it was wrapped in a company wrap,
you'd have to really go hard.
And you just kind of did nothing to the outside. Yeah, I guess it just looks like a work van, but here's the fact about the whole stealthy thing. I don't know if I can put a percentage on like what you gain by like trying to be stealthy. Like let me put it this way. If you're not allowed to park there, you're not parking there, regardless of what you are. It doesn't matter. Now, there may be some gray areas where you might get away with it and you wouldn't if you're like something very flashy. But overall, like the places where they don't want people to park, you're not parking there. And if it's fine, it doesn't matter what you're in. That's our experience with it. I mean, when we were in the van, we pretty much exclusively like lived in the city for the first couple of years because we were gigging a lot.
Yeah. And
it was just more like knowing what an area is and if they're going to be cool about it. And it was like pretty apparent what we were in. And you'd see a variety of people in like more stealthy things and people in like giant RVs. And it was kind of like, if that area is fine, you kind of learn and you don't get bothered. But if it's an area like a great example is like a city, at least at the time, this is like probably 4 or 5 years ago. Monterey has no street parking for any vehicle whatsoever overnight.
California, yeah.
At least at that time, and I'm sure it's the same now, if not worse. Doesn't matter what you're in. Even just your car, literally you're parking your car because you live here or no, you can't. So it doesn't matter how stealthy you are in a place like that. You're not parking there.
Right.
Or specific parking lots that have decided we don't want people parking here. if you're not like a company vehicle, like of that company, you're not parking there. So I don't know. There is like a little bit you can be gained.
And as far as the windows, we can't tell you yet.
I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. Somebody's gonna go, no man, I'm super stealthy.
We're not in the city a lot. We've really changed our lifestyle.
Yeah, that's part of it too.
We were, like Drew said, we were touring, we were gigging, like 2 to 3 shows a week at the height of the whole thing. And so we would be forced to sleep in cities a lot, in cities that we were unfamiliar with. So we were kind of guessing at parking, but it's not really that way these days. We're not touring. I've really taken a step back from gigging, and so has Drew for the most part, but our lifestyle has just changed, so we're not as worried about it because our goal is to be out in the wilderness.
Yeah, and one other thing about that, even when we did that a lot, like whether you were kind of unnoticed, stealthy or not, the thing is, don't stay there more than a night. You know, if you absolutely have to because you need to be in this area for whatever reason,
a night or two.
Yeah, maybe 2. Most places that aren't specifically, there's no overnight parking, or you're in a kind of a residential area where like somebody might call the cops on you because they're like scared. You're not going to get bothered. You're not going to get bothered for a night. If you're there more than a night or 2, yeah, now you're becoming like, okay, this person's just kind of like hanging out here.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. It could be, but it could be more stealthy. But no, there'll be windows. It's gonna look cool. It's not gonna look stealthy.
Let's see.
Yeah, 20 minutes on one question, guys.
There is a guy on YouTube who puts these great awning style over each window that makes it look like a work van. Oh. Yeah, you'd have to really go that route, like making it look like a work van. You'd have to put some effort into making it stealthy.
If that's your goal, like I don't think it's hard to do. That's your commitment. Like, don't commit halfway and then put like something super apparent that someone's living in there. Like
you'd have to go with the full like
panels that are up off the roof and you can see.
Like
and there's
plumbing company.
Yeah,
a decal on the side.
If your real goal and your need is for that, then you probably want to commit to it. If you're a full-time living in a city person, which there's a lot of people do, probably just do nothing to the outside and make sure it's all like as few windows as possible, and like windows you have just have blacked out. Like don't have reflectix in there. That's the thing. I was always blow my mind, like, oh, they're stealthy, and then you have reflectix in your window. It's like that's a dead giveaway that someone's in that vehicle.
Anita says, hey, Drew and Savannah, love the box van style. What ideas do you have for installing a side door? We are putting a side door in, and we are really excited about this door.
Super excited.
Like more excited than you should be about a door. And it was a significant purchase, but like a part of our budget that we really considered and dedicated to this door. But I don't know if it gets better than this door at this time with what's being made, because like a regular RV door, I feel like, man, you could break into that thing so easily, and I just don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah. People keep asking questions and we're not telling you. They're like, why am I even here?
I know.
Yeah, we are putting a side door in though. And I'll just say it's lion proof. So if you know what that means.
Does that give you any hints?
It is lion proof. And grizzly bear proof.
Grizzly bear proof, yeah.
Yeah, so
we're pretty excited about it.
It's gonna be really cool.
This is our dream door.
It'll be coming up soon.
Didn't we talk about this? We had a dream toilet. The incinerator toilet. We have a dream door.
Dream door. Yeah, you'll see it. It'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it'll be on the side. It'll be similar placement to like our normal one.
Yeah. Tom Rutt says you're going to put AC in it.
Is that a question or a demand?
There's a question mark, yes.
Oh. We're looking at options for sure.
Yeah. Yes, probably.
Some version.
With the bus last summer, we really didn't have much left in the budget for AC, and we didn't want to just put in a bad AC option.
We may be putting AC in that bus too, though.
Yeah,
retroactively.
We're going to be doing an install in that bus of a really nice AC unit. We're getting it back for a short time to install that, and then I'm really interested to see the bus again and see like what everything looks like and how it's held up, and so we'll have a little video about that. Most likely, we'll see how it all shakes out, but that's a really nice AC unit that's going in there, and we're excited to install it and see how that works.
Yeah, and short answer is we're gonna put some version of AC in this build. Man, I've been trying to break that freaking bubble for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's
frustrating.
It's frustrating, so frustrating. How few options there are in the like 12 and 24 volt category. The more I look, I think there's some stuff that is out there that is in the more commercial sector that is sort of tricky to find. It's not exactly advertised and sold. You know, like what you might put in like a truck or like a tractor or something. But the price points on some of the stuff is just something's tough. Something's got to give. I don't know. It seems like there should be more companies making it competitive. I don't know if I'm missing part of the equation of why they're charging so much. Like some of the companies that are doing the 12 and 24 volt ones right, and they're doing a good job. But I have seen some possible options and some like Chinese ones. So we'll see. Yeah. We might take a flyer on something just to see.
Read somewhere that a 24 volt system may be cheaper to build than a 12 volt, but your vehicle alternator cannot charge the system when you are driving. Is this true to your knowledge?
It is cheaper to build a 24 volt system.
It saves you money on wire size
and charge controller. You'll save a big chunk right there. You can save on wire a bit. As far as charging off the vehicle, we don't usually do that for a few reasons, but I know people talk about doing dedicated alternator just for that, like a secondary one. I wonder if you could install a 24 volt one or not. So like your car system is 12 volt. So like what they're saying makes sense. You wouldn't be able to charge a 24 volt house battery off a 12 volt alternator. That wouldn't make sense because it's too low. But like how the alternator works is basically it's a generator that's getting spun from somebody who knows this really well is going to be tearing me apart. My understanding of it is it's getting spun usually like on the one that belts from the engine running, right? So it's using the engine's power that's being generated from burning gasoline, spin an alternator, which sends out an electrical signal. So you could probably do the same thing with a 24 volt alternator if they make that.
I don't know. We've honestly never looked into
that. Let me think about this because a truck battery, I think they may be running at 24 volts, like a big rig. I could be wrong about that. So I don't know. You'd have to look and see if there is a 24 volt alternator. It seems like very achievable if there is, because that's it's the same thing. That it's not a 12 volt system until it comes out of the alternator. That's where the power is coming from.
Right. Possible.
Yes. But you'll save a bunch of charge controllers where you save a lot of money, because if you're buying a traditional charge controller, say one that has a limit of 800 watts at 12 volt is going to give you like 1400 or 16, up to maybe close to 1600, almost double at 24 volts. You can run
almost double,
yeah, because you have a higher voltage and it's pushing less amperage and all that. So you can usually run about double the amount of solar on the same charge controller as you could on 12 volt. And it's even better if you go up to 48 volt, because now you can do even bigger and you can have even smaller wires.
Yeah.
So
not a simple answer.
Simply put, it is cheaper.
It is cheaper.
It is cheaper.
And you would
and it is it's nicer to not have to run as big of wires.
Hey, what made you do the box fan from the Jarrett family?
Well, a few reasons.
Shuttle buses got way too expensive, which is that's what made us kind of pivot.
Look outside the box, into the box.
I was told by a few different shuttle bus sales people that the lag in production from 2020 kind of had the companies playing catch up, and there wasn't as many new buses. So fleets and people that would have been buying new buses are kind of buying those cheaper, like a few year old buses. So there's just less used buses
there's
out
less,
there, which makes sense.
Less buses were put out the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So that means there's less used ones, and used ones of quality from the last, the relatively new 5-year-ish. And even when the company tried to catch up, they've been running into the issues of getting chassis from the companies, from like Ford and Chevy. So like they haven't even had a vehicle to buy to put their build on.
Right.
So anyways, that was one of the reasons, but we really like the Unicell box. It looks nice. It's single fiberglass, so there's like no leak points.
I will say that when we decided to do the Unicell, I kind of thought, we'd really love to do a bus, but we're going to make the compromise for, because we can't find the buses for all these reasons, X, Y, and Z. And now that we're in it and we have it, I really love this vehicle. I think it's great. And I'm actually really happy that the whole situation worked out the way it did, because it's something different for us. We get to do something new and different, even though there'll be a lot of similarities. It's just like within our layout and stuff, there'll be a lot of similarities. The vehicle itself is just really cool, and it's different enough that it's kind of keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's an awesome space to build in so far, and we really like it. It looks really cool. Once we found those ones, we thought they looked really slick, actually. They have a lot of character. Now we see them all the time.
It's got a lot of height. It really does. Yeah. We like that about it. We've said a few times in the past, it's like the middle point between a box truck and a shuttle bus. It has kind of the curve in the front of the shuttle bus, and it's on a similar chassis, but it has the square boxiness of the box truck.
Yeah.
But again, that single fiberglass body, that's a pretty big plus.
Yeah, it's really big. The chassis has nice clearance too.
I'm watching your live stream on my living room TV. My neighbor walked by, knocked on the window, and said, "Oh, are they on now?" I had no idea they followed you as well.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that's really funny. I've seen some van lifers put gutters on their roof to catch rainwater, then filter it and use it for showers. Keeps the tank full. Your thought on rain collection?
Water reclamation.
We've gone over this for years. We truly love this lifestyle, and we love building, and we love being creative. So like we do these videos, we do these builds, we get on here, we talk about builds on this live stream, but in our free time, we're also just always spitballing and like, what if this, what if that, what if we did this, could this be possible? So we've talked out so many things in so many scenarios over the years, because we just love all of this stuff. We've talked about water reclamation. That's come up many times. Drew is very close to designing water reclamation.
I was. In fact, I'll tell you the only reason I didn't. And this comes back to like some of the reasons we haven't done other things. We live primarily half the year in the desert. And when we're in New York, we're usually working on stuff.
Yep.
And we have access to water all the time, because we're not really camping per se. We're on family property building a new vehicle.
If you were in a rainy climate,
if you're in the Northwest,
it would make so much sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that complicated. Actually, we have a good friend that had it on their self-built trailer.
Yeah.
So they put big gutters on there, and you simply do like, you can bypass it so it can just go out, or you can flip the switch so it goes to a pipe and then goes through a couple sets of filters and then goes into your tank.
Yes, I've seen some van builders put gutters to catch rainwater. I think that's smart and cool. It is.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And you'll get like the people that are like, well, that's not safe. Well, if you're drinking your water out of that tank without a thorough filtration system anyways, you're already like...
You have other issues.
when we were in the van, we had separate tanks for drinking water.
We did. Yep.
And we just use that for showers and for dishes.
Yeah, really recommend filtering your drinking water, especially just the aspect of traveling around. You're getting your water from so many different sources. And even if it says potable, like it's a truck stop or it's city water from whatever place you're in. You have no idea. So a good filter.
But yeah, if you're in climates where there's rain, do it. I think it's great. It's really not that complicated. Just angle a gutter to an entry point that feeds through a hose through some filters, and you do some bypass so you can have it active or not.
Let's see. A drop-down door can become a deck. Also, I would do the drop-down deck in a large windowed wall with a Dutch or screen door in the wall.
Yeah.
Talk that out as well.
I've seen this done well.
Option. Yeah.
It's something we could do. Most of the time I've seen it done has been a little bit bigger of a vehicle. Not that the space would completely prohibit it, but it is pretty cool. I've seen people do it with the full slider.
Yep.
Which is pretty sick.
A Murphy bed.
The Murphy bed?
I've seen that done well a few times. I don't know.
Here's my current opinion on all these things. Okay. They're really vehicle specific. So a lot of these space savers are really most useful in a van, because vans are a lot more limited in space than a bus or a box van or a box truck. And we came from such a small space that our bus now and this build feels like a lot of space to us, that we feel like there's so much space. We don't feel we need to make the extra, do the convertible bed thing, because that turns into a thing of it's kind of annoying. Now, if you're in a very small space, it can maximize that space and be worthwhile. Our van had a bed that was in a bunk that we had to fold out every day.
Yeah, we did that for
years.
It
was fine.
Yeah.
But once you have the space to have a permanent bed, I don't know. I don't think, for me, it's not really worth it. The one way I do really like when people do it is if you have a taller vehicle, is doing the bed that's either on the struts or the pulley system, whatever it is, it goes up to the ceiling and there's a full booth underneath that's always there. And then when you go to bed, you just settle on top of the booth, right? Yeah. So your booth's under here. You could probably almost still sit in it.
That's the thing we've really considered.
And we've talked about that forever. So I do like that one a lot. But if you have a space, it's I don't know, what are you gaining by having to convert something every day? Right.
It is vans specific.
Yes.
Would you use aluminum instead of wood to reduce the weight? Way ahead of you. Not aluminum specifically. So I've been aware of the aluminum. I think they're called T-slot aluminum or T-channel aluminum. I can't remember. But the overland builds, we're using them forever, where people are super concerned about weight. And I've known this, right? You can look at the cabinets that are 3/4 inch ply and there's 6 sheets of it. It's not good if you're trying to save weight. And for the most part, buses can take it, especially school buses. They can really, the GVWR is so high, you almost don't have to worry about it. But shuttle buses, box trucks, it is a bit of a concern. And I looked at the aluminum, that T-channel, T-slotted stuff. My only concern is that our refrigerator is really big, really heavy, and it comes out on slides. How heavy would you say that fridge is full? 60 pounds?
Full?
Yeah.
No, probably a couple hundred.
A couple 100 pounds?
It's 60 pounds empty.
It's not a couple 100 pounds.
It's over 100 pounds easy. We have 500-pound drawer slides on that.
But it's not reaching that capacity.
Well, no, you go over. That's the whole point. You go overkill.
We're debating our
No, I think the fridge empties probably 60, 70 pounds. Food in there. I mean, think about water's 8.3 pounds a gallon or something. So if you have any liquids in there,
I mean, regardless,
you're definitely probably 150 pounds or something like that.
It's heavy because we're concerned about the weight of it, not in the cabinet. Our cabinet's going to fall apart kind of concern. but structurally how you build the cabinet needs to be able to support that kind of weight sliding in and out. So the drawer slides are absorbing some of that, but I don't know. I was just a little bit concerned about the aluminum overall. So because I'm learning to weld, I took on this project. And so some of the cabinets are going to be metal involved.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it shakes out. I can't say too much about it yet.
It's going to be sweet.
It'll give everything away.
They're like...
But we're pretty excited about it to kind of play around with this because, like I said, we just like to do different things and see how it works out because you don't know anything if you don't do anything. So we like to try things and say, hey, I wonder if this would work, and kind of get in there and start building it and go in different directions. It's just fun. So.
Yep.
Wanted to do something different this time, and I think it'll save a little bit of weight. I did the math, like square footage of 3/4 inch ply versus the metal that I'm using, and it doesn't save a ton. The aluminum would save more. Doesn't save a ton, but it does save a little bit, and it all adds up, you know.
For sure.
Mateo, yeah, he's out.
Oh yeah, I mean, the more cabinets you're making, the more you're saving, right? So if you're saving a little bit on each one, it adds up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it because
yeah,
I'm taking on a lot of metal projects, and I'm to the point where I can finally start to do some of them without so much hand holding from Kevin.
It is fun to tackle the same projects in different ways. I feel like we're doing that with a few things on this build.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least we've planned, and we'll see how they all work out. But
we only have about 10 minutes here. We got to fly through some of these questions. Right. Let's see. Drop-down door can be a deck and additional living space off grid. Yeah, that deck is awesome. It just extends your whole living space. It's the same with like an awning and maybe bug screens or something. It feels like an extension of your living space.
I do think it's a cool idea. Yeah, I think it's cool when people do it. Some of these things are... Here's the other thing. Everyone's always like, you're applying your life to this, right? So a lot of people aren't in there just alone or just two people. They might have kids, or they might have
where you want that separation. Group. Yeah.
So that's when you start prioritizing some of that. So
definitely,
it's pretty personal to like what you need. But
stealthy.
I do like it.
Let's see, stealthy probably pertain to urban camping. Yeah, that's what we were mentioning about that.
Yeah.
Obviously don't need that in the wilderness so much.
Oh no, yeah, we're doing camouflage. Oh, damn, we gave it away. Our camouflage paint. I just gave it away on the outside.
The whole thing in camouflage. Yeah.
You know, people get army vehicles and repaint them so they don't look terrible.
Right.
We're actually gonna get the worst, most like bland army colors.
Oh, I was gonna say like bright. They do like the pink and blue.
No. I want the really like looks like the flat paint too. Like it looks.
We paint it in the forest camo and then just immediately drive it to the desert.
Yeah,
it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Actually, what we're doing is we're putting giant screens on the outside, so it's adaptive camouflage.
That would be great. Or mirrors.
The whole thing's gonna be a mirror.
Oh wow, we're getting so off track. Hello from Antarctica.
No way.
I don't believe you.
Come on.
I wish I was there. It's so hot.
Send me a picture.
How are you guys doing?
Warm, but
hot.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Busy, a little exhausted, but we're moving along. Progress has been good.
It's been a really exciting build. It really has. Aaron Hampton says, "Hey y'all, glad I got to catch the live. We're glad you're here.
Glad you're here, bro.
Thanks for hanging out with us."
Or Brodette. I didn't catch the name.
Tom William, did you consider putting a fold down deck on the back of the truck? Doesn't have to be the whole height of the truck, but maybe half.
Everyone wants the fold down deck. It's like the fourth comment.
Here's the thing with the fold down deck is that we were planning on making the, what is it called? The ramp, the moving ramp.
Yeah.
The space where the moving ramp pulls out of. We want to take out the ramp and put a pull-out table in there that maybe has some leaves on it so it extends outward. You could walk on it. It could be like a deck. I don't know. I guess
I'm
gonna have to mill it over. I'm gonna have to think about it.
Everybody wants this deck, man.
I know everyone is in for the deck.
I don't think we're doing the deck, guys. I hate to break it to everyone.
Maybe off the side of the vehicle.
We definitely discussed it.
We talked
the
about
other thing
it.
that's kind of cool you could do is the opposite, where it's one that flips all the way up and you have like a solid awning, and then you do a screened in area. So you have your outdoor area that way.
You could do a deck off of the entry door on the side. I've seen that with overlands.
Oh, it folds over.
Overlanding builds, yeah.
Like a little porch, basically.
Can you say which side of the truck the door will be on?
Yeah, we could.
It's on the passenger side. That is just because our bus is like that, and it's what we're used to.
No, well,
okay. You had other reasons?
I've thought about
that was my reason.
I've thought about switching it. And I'll tell you why. You know why the door is always on that side?
Well, passengers, because of the shuttle bus.
But in
letting
general,
people out onto the curb.
And in North America, like say I pull up to somewhere to drop you off, you would have to get out in the lane of traffic.
Well, that's what I said. Right? Yeah, like it would. You're dropping people off in the buses, so they're getting out to the airport or whatever.
Yeah, so because anytime you're parking, right, anywhere, if you're parking on a curb as well,
right,
your door would now be in like the traffic way, which would be annoying as opposed to getting out off of the curb. And generally, when we pull up to spots, we also pull up that way.
Yeah, I guess
that's why it's that way.
The same thing applies. Yeah.
Yeah.
With passengers.
I did think about this recently. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. And I was like, wait, no, that'd be really inconvenient a lot of times. And that'd be annoying. Like you pull up somewhere. Think about when you're in the city, right? And you hop in and out. It's like, I got to make sure I can peek out and I'm not stepping into traffic. I don't like getting out of my driver door when I pull up. So, but I did think about it actually, like why it's like that. And I was like, nope, gotta keep it on the passenger side.
I like the door being there in the bus. I like it at the end of the kitchen.
I like it being that way with the layout that we go with, and the couch being opposite because I consider flipping the couch. But I like that you can look out both windows and the door at your view. You could park that way. I guess you could park the opposite way. Yep. But I like it how it is that way.
Most people will never think someone's living in a truck. Only van people will notice.
No, I mean I
think a box truck is.
It's true.
At this point, a Sprinter with like solar panels and a vent fan. I think most people are gonna know. There was just a big car commercial. It was like Chevy or something that had van life was like the theme of the commercial. I just saw it, so I feel like it's becoming more mainstream. People are understanding that this is something people do.
I do agree, though.
But the truck is stealthier.
It is stealthier, but it's back to what I said. If it's a place where they don't want people parking, it doesn't matter what your vehicle is, right?
True.
The average person might not notice it. So there is like that crossover. There is some time where that applies and you get that advantage. But I think it's not that big of an advantage. Yeah. Unless if it's your main focus, then you go for it all the way for sure. My work vehicle is the best way to do it.
Finally made it into one of the live chats. Super stoked to see this build. What live chat?
Maybe like live chat entry.
Welcome to the live chat. You finally made it. I don't know who you are. You finally made it to the live chat. Yeah, the live chat.
You did. You made it.
You finally made it.
Besides the quality builds you guys produce, I enjoy your lives. Give the potatoes a pat for me.
Potatoes?
There it is.
Did they say potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I call him.
I know.
Does everyone know that?
Yeah.
Probably all I say is probably on video.
Oh, some music, please. You just got your own song.
The same person?
Mm-hmm. See?
What kind of music? Yeah, what? What's up, Dino? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
I mean, got his own song.
Yeah.
Tom says you can use a buck converter to change the voltage from 12 to 24 volt.
Oh, so you're stepping it up. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tom,
see?
Thank you.
I just never done it, so I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what you're doing with an inverter, right? It's just
Tom
a small,
coming in with the knowledge.
It's just a small inverter, right? Because you're taking 12 and stepping up to 110, 120 or whatever. So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Tom Rutt says, well, your dad has a welding shop. Enough said. I don't know what that was in relation to, but it is very
probably
true.
about doing stuff with metal. I don't
Fabrication.
know.
Yeah. It is one of our stronger points, that's for sure.
It's definitely a unique advantage.
Yeah, both my father and my grandfather are welders, and
my father was a gangster.
That's a song of Drew's.
My father was a gangster.
It's an old song.
Left me alone.
You have a higher voltage. It's wired in series with the alternator.
Okay.
Tell him again.
That makes sense.
Thanks, Tom.
See, I knew it could be done. I just didn't know the technical because I've never done it.
Krista Fernandez. What's up, Krista? It's good to see you again. See you. Thanks for being here.
You look fantastic.
Have an idea for on-top storage, like one of those cases, but not sure. Like one of those cases, I think she means like
top of the vehicle.
Yeah, but not sure what to choose. What's good? What's worth the money?
I guess it depends what your vehicle is.
We had one of those bag ones.
It was fine. I wouldn't put anything on top of one of these vehicles because it's already so tall.
It leaked.
Did it?
The bag one leaked.
Oh, okay.
We put our stuff in bags in the bag.
That's right.
But I guess if you have the money now, look on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or eBay or something before you just go buy one new. Those Yakima ones, those are supposed to be pretty nice. Yeah. Our friends have 2 of those on top of their like 4x4 trailer. That's where they hold all their gear.
Yeah, hard case. It's sealed. It's got like a gasket on it.
Yeah, much nicer.
Yeah, one of those ones. I mean, there's probably some other brands because I know those aren't cheap, but they're sort of like the go-to one most people have.
Mm-hmm. Bart with a super chat. Thank you so much.
All right, super chat.
Sent us a super chat last time too. Thank you.
I need to make a special super chat.
Be sure to hit the like button, folks. It really helps them get discovered by more people. Thank you. Yes, please. We get wrapped up in the build and the enjoyment of making the videos, and we forget about YouTube things like telling people to like things and telling people to subscribe. So we're just so grateful to you guys for being here and hanging out with us because we have fun doing this and we love that you guys are interested in it also. Mateo loves to use this as nap time. He's been out for like half an hour.
I'm trying to make a super chat song up.
Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the super chat.
Bart,
yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Bart.
Messed that up. I gotta work on that still. Wait, there's a new one.
Next week.
Wait,
Krista sent a super chat as well. Thank you so much.
Krista sent a super chat.
I'm almost done with the build. I'm in the phase of little tasks driving me insane, like trim, paint, random checks. Feels like it's taking the longest.
That stuff's the worst.
It always does. But we are so happy to hear that you're almost done with your build. That's awesome.
Ooh, what are you building?
We did a consultation with Krista and kind of like helped her with some of her build questions. That's from her.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, we're headed back up here. We're only going to do a few more because we're a little bit over an hour, so we'll answer just a few more questions. Yeah. Let's see. Looking forward to seeing what you do with the build. Thank you so much. We're pretty stoked about it.
I am very excited. There's some new things going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Taking most of our favorite and then doing some new things. Doing something a little different with the solar rack, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, we've done the
solar fun if you're a nerd about that.
We've done the solar rack different with every build that we've done now. So
yeah, this will be the third different.
We have tried so many things, not because they necessarily didn't work, but just because each vehicle was just different enough that it needed something new.
Using what you have.
We have a lot of experience with that at this point.
I need to get some sharper drill bits. Let me say that because
I
was drilling some metal today. It was not fun.
Can you tell the inside length of a shuttle bus based on the number and type of windows, Chris? No.
Not unless you're like a like a shuttle bus forensics expert.
If you know how, please tell us, because when we've been shopping for buses, we would look at pictures and we would count the windows and be like, that bus has to be 23 feet. It's got to be. And then we would call and they would be like, this is a 32-foot bus. This is a 28-foot bus. It is so hard. Just like guessing the internal height. I'm convinced
the
it
problem
almost
is the
can't
windows.
be done
The window size varies a lot.
Yeah.
You look at enough of them, you could probably get within a few feet, though. You could probably tell that's a 23 to 25 footer, but that's after staring at a lot of them. The window sizes are different on like every bus. And sometimes there's multiple sizes of windows, so it is a little tricky. Are you sleeping? I know people say that school bus, that's a term, right? Because the school bus windows are probably more uniform.
Yeah.
I don't know if they always are, but they're probably closer.
That's one content pup. Mateo's down for the count.
Yeah.
We do these lives at 9 p.m. and that is well past his bedtime. He was over at grandma's all day in the air conditioning.
Oh yeah, sneaky guy.
Eating treats and playing. He's out.
The headroom on the shuttles, if you look at how much is coming off of the van cab part, so where like the windshield ends, and look at like a few different ones, and when that looks taller, like you're gonna have a chance of it being pretty tall. The floors can still be different heights, so it isn't 100%, but you kind of can tell after a while if it looks like it's pretty close to that window, like, oh, it's probably lower.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, you got to call. It's hard to tell in pictures.
Yep. Tom says, because in case of fire, you have an alternate way out. Probably when we were talking about the doors and the windows and everything.
Oh, yeah.
All the windows that we are putting in are actually emergency windows.
Are they?
Yeah. They push out. Yep.
And one of them is going to be pretty large.
And with the doors in the back and the door on the side and then the cab, you could just decide your exit point.
Good.
Yeah.
And don't forget the little Ninja Turtles entrance from the sewer cab.
Oh, you're putting a sewer grate in?
I'm putting in
just sewer cap.
Yeah. So that's actually the real door secret. We haven't told anybody. You're gonna crawl in and out like a like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
In like 2 weeks, there'll be a thumbnail on YouTube of us just like in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume,
lifting up a big heavy sewer cap in the floor of the bus.
The thing you never thought we'd add to our build.
Really lay into the YouTube thumbnail. I never thought it would work.
Everyone, make sure you hit the like button. It will really help out their channel. Thank you. Thanks, Bart. Please give us a like if you like this. If you're hanging out, I hope that you enjoy.
Hit that like button.
At the very least, you enjoy Mateo content.
Potato content.
Let's see. Haley. Hi, Haley.
I feel like it's heating up more in the later end of this.
I know.
Man.
Yeah. Do you think this build will cost, I think, more or less than the previous builds? It's going to cost the same as far as it should shake out to be, well, about the same. Our builds pretty much cost the same. From our bus, we spent $15 on the bus, $15,000 on the build.
That sounds crazy now, though.
Which sounds so cheap now that everything has gone up. So the actual build itself last year was $20,000.
Yeah.
And it was very similar materials, very similar amounts. We just think that costs of everything went up, especially plywood, but everything was more expensive. So yeah.
Yeah, the first bus was roughly 15 for the build aspect, not like the vehicle. Last year was roughly 20, and I anticipate it might be like a little over that this year because some stuff has gone up, but a lot of the products are about the same
as last year.
Yeah,
things haven't moved a whole lot. Things have just become unavailable. Some things, like a brand that we really liked, we'd have to get a different brand or something.
The panels have gone up, though.
Panels have gotten more expensive.
Solar panels have gone up.
At least the big ones that we're using.
Yeah, there's still cheap stuff out there, but you start getting confined to a certain dimensions. If you happen to be in that one, that's
yep.
Yeah, but they were cheaper a year ago, and then when we got ours, they were super cheap. So
yep.
Things have gone up a little bit, but a lot of like the products are about the same.
Krista, oh yeah, Collins short bus. I remember that. I bought a shower pan, yes, and consultation. We right now are surrounded by shower pans. We are in the shower pan corner of the shop. I think it's because it's summertime now and people are starting builds, and our consultations have just gone crazy, and the shower pans have gone crazy as well. And we supply Brooklyn camper vans. Look them up.
Shout out Brooklyn camper vans. You guys are cool.
They build awesome ProMasters, and they build in Brooklyn. They have warehouse space there, and so we supply all of their builds with shower pans. And they
it's like 10 leaning on the wall in front of me here.
Yeah, there's like 10 Brooklyn camper van pans. There's a few other customers over here, but we've had so many shower pan orders recently. It's been really great. I think everybody's starting their builds.
Yeah, the shower pans are nice, man. That's something we were trying to find for years, and then
it was something that we needed.
That's why it got made.
That's why it got made, and then people started asking about it, so we just kind of lightly introduced them and started making them, and we're so happy every time we see a picture of someone with one of these pans in their builds. It's the coolest thing. I think it's so cool that something that comes out of our shop, goes into people's builds all over the country. It's just, I love that. I love seeing those pictures. We have a lyric. Thanks for the super chat. We'll use it to buy pizza and get super fat.
Okay.
That's from we almost got pizza tonight. We did.
Thank you for the super chat. We'll use that money to buy pizza, and then we'll get super fat off the pizza from the super chat. Thank you for that super chat.
Okay.
Kraken Engineer. I also just started a box truck build on a 16-foot box. That's awesome. Nice. You have a little bit more space than we do.
Yeah, ours is the box is 15, but how these are, you lose about a foot of that actually extends the cab. So it makes the cab of the vehicle really spacious and nice, but you only get 14 foot in the box. And the bus we live in now is like just about 15. So we're losing maybe not quite a foot back there compared to what we have currently.
Yeah. Good luck with your build.
But yeah, no, that's a great size.
Yeah, it is. Gas, diesel, or don't care?
I don't care.
I don't have a preference, to be honest. We've never owned a diesel vehicle, and that there's no reason for that. It's just how it's shaken out, really.
Yeah, it's more like every other criteria that we've been looking for have happened to always fall into gas vehicles when we checked all the boxes of what we were looking for.
But if one of those was diesel, we wouldn't have passed it up.
If it was between the two and it was the same exact vehicle, you probably want to go diesel. If you're looking for life,
probably,
you get more miles out of a diesel.
Yeah.
So they can cost more to fix, but they're better engines usually. Like they have longer life.
A longer lifespan, yeah.
So I'm down for either though. Within specific years, right? That's what you run into. Like you don't want a diesel Ford from like 05 to I don't know when they fixed that. Or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
it's like anything. Just look
do your research, make sure it isn't a crap engine
because they change so much. All right, Savannah, you and Mateo match. We both wore teal today. Mateo wears teal every day. Krista says it's great, the shower pan, highly recommend, and it came out perfect. It was such a headache trying to figure it out. That's why we made the pans, because the shower was such a problem area. It was such an issue. I mean, and even with these, they're so flat, it can be tough to figure out kind of like the sandwich of materials and how much space to leave. But I mean, when you're comparing those big, bulky, like fiberglass or plastic pans, it's easier than that.
Yeah, when we were renovating our van bathroom, we went on a pretty thorough search for shower pans and smaller ones and realized it was very limited. And we ended up building it out of wood.
We tiled.
We framed it out of wood, red guarded it. Or we did what else? What?
We did red guard.
Yeah.
We did the backer board. All that.
Yeah, basically built it out of wood. It was crazy.
Yep.
It was nice because we were able to build a very like unique shape or whatever. Not unique shape, but specific size.
A custom size.
We ran into that. We ran into it, and then we started the bus build, and we ran into it again. Like you can't get. There's not a lot of options. It goes from like they go from really big to. There's a couple like really small ones too that were like tiny angled ones. I remember.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so small.
That's why I think the shower pans have done as well as they're doing, is because you can go on the website and you can literally just pick your dimensions. You can pick the size of the rectangle that you want, and you can pick where your drain goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's unheard of. You can fit the shower pan to your space.
Yeah.
Instead of vice versa. Instead of fitting your shower space to the pan. It saves you so much room. In the end, basically, you have more space for.
And you get more headroom.
Other stuff. And more headroom.
That was a big thing in the van
down
we ran
into the floor. Yeah, that's
like,
huge.
The pre-made ones, we were gonna lose like 4 inches or something. Like we can't lose anymore. We don't have enough in here.
Nope.
So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Glad everybody's enjoying them. Yeah,
super unexpectedly.
It's so
awesome.
Cool. It's
I know.
Super
it's
cool.
Really unexpected.
What a weird thing to be so excited about.
Okay, last one from Bart. Drew, you're going to have to release a YouTube demo of all your made up on the spot songs. It's true. Well, we are going to take off. We've gone 16 minutes over an hour because we love a tangent. Like I said in the beginning, we just get off on a tangent.
Oh, I got to do the song you want.
Right. I say you can play us out with the song.
This is the demo of the random YouTube songs I created on the spot, girl. Yeah.
Girl.
Always got to be a girl in there. Right?
Always a girl.
I said, this is the demo of the random songs I created on YouTube on the spot. Oh, what a world.
No rust is a must. We got a lot of ones in there.
Yeah. Maybe the new thing is we'll open the show for like 10 minutes with really dumb songs. Because it seems like more people filter in, it gets busier later.
Mm-hmm.
So now there'll be a reason to be there, or there'll be the more reason to skip the first 10 minutes.
We have to
like, I gotta see the song. I don't want to see that idiot sing dumb songs. It'll be one of the two.
Our first video didn't have a song in the intro. We have to do a song in one of these intros coming up.
For the live?
No rust is a must.
Oh, for the videos.
For the actual episodes. No rust is a must was a classic.
I don't know, guys. I'm tapped out. No rust is a must.
True.
Wow. But those songs are basically the same. I make them up right before the whole intro actually usually is just made up right in the spot. So I usually like forces. I'm like trying to leave, and she's like, "You need an intro."
I'm like, think of a song, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "We need an intro."
Some weeks it's fun, other weeks.
Sometimes it can be brutal. It's like when someone asks you to be creative on the spot, like, come up with a great idea right now.
Kind of depends on how tired I am.
Yeah.
And if I'm actually really tired, sometimes it's better.
We record in the mornings, like as early as we can get up and around, and so it can be tough to be creative in the mornings. Like that.
Wait, we got one. We got more questions.
Hey, I finally made it for a live.
How was your first date? I think you met in college or high school.
We did not. No.
I guess first date was like what? Getting scone?
Well, we're musicians, so we met because I opened for Drew's band.
Yeah.
I was the opener, and he was the lead singer of the You're the headliner, right?
No. Was it? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember that well, but I remember the whole thing, but I don't remember who was playing all that.
There was a lot of people. It was like a festival.
No, we were like second to last.
It was like
our friend's band was headlining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I think, a 4th of July festival.
But first date, we went to get scones and coffee.
We did. We went to a
I guess that would be like if there was like a first date. I don't know.
It's your classic first
That's
date.
when like retroactively you realize, oh, that was a first date kind of thing.
Yeah, we met up to write music together quite a few times, but then our first.
Yeah. I guess we did that first because that's how we started hanging out. It wasn't like a date per se.
Yeah, it was like to write music, and then we were like, hey, do you want to keep hanging out for the rest of our lives?
Oh God. Is that how it went? Who asked that question?
Maybe it wasn't that intense.
Like anyone asked that question, it probably would have worked.
Do you want to go to coffee again? Yeah, sure.
Man.
Do you want to build buses together and move into a vehicle? Sounds great.
No, that wasn't even a thought.
No, not at all.
Anyways.
We're going to get out of here.
We are rambling about nothing.
We are.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
We got to put this Chewini to bed.
We will be back in a week. The videos are going to start getting more project intensive, so there should be a lot of cool.
We're going to start picking up pace here. Lots of projects, lots of movement in the build, lots of changes every week. So we're really excited to kind of get this moving, have more things to talk about in the live, like more topics from that week. And you want to play us out?
Yeah.
All right.
We should do that, huh?
Have a good night, friends. Right. Thank you so much for hanging out. Mateo says thank you. He's so sleepy. All right. We will see you guys on Sunday with a brand new video, episode 2. Unless you're a Patreon or a YouTube member, you'll see it on Saturday. So we'll see you guys then.